Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Shane Joseph Hopkins, and he's written a very interesting book. It's called, and I have to read this off the sign because it's a mouthful. The book is called Welcome to the Absolutely Astounding Life of Whistle Evel Fonzarelli Starr. That's Welcome to the Absolutely Astounding Life of Whistle Evel Fonzarelli Starr. Where did you get that name from?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And second of all, it is a long title, but the more you say it, the smoother it becomes off the tongue. So to start out with, the character was in my head. The character Whistle, the name Whistle, was in my head for a long time because I like stories that travel. They don't stay in one place. They just keep moving. So Whistle to me is kind of a traveling type name. And then Evil was Evel Knievel, one of my childhood favorites. And then Fonzarelli, of course, the Fonz. Yeah, so that's another one of my my idols as a kid. And then Starr with the two R's. Some people have asked, like Ringo Starr. I wasn't consciously thinking Ringo Starr at the time, but maybe I was.
It works.
Yeah, and I just feel that that whole name just rounds itself out to an adventurous name, and just kind of a traveling name. And anybody like around my age, your age, I think will get a kick out of the Evil and the Fonzarelli.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would have had 10 more names in there.
It is a long title, but it's short chapters. So.
Now, what about the book? The book is very unusual, too. What made you get into this? What made you start this whole project?
Well, Frank, like I said, I had that character name in mind for years, and I had the concept for years. And I always had the beginning figured out and the ending figured out, and his root of the middle figured out, but all the details got filled in as I wrote. Yeah. I wrote with I don't know if it's a correct term, but it's like a stream of conscious thinking.
Consciousness, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so that's my style. Mm-hmm. So I'm on the Newport, Rhode Island Fire Department, and my wife and her mother took a 2-week trip to Israel. And so we built our own log cabin, and I had it to myself for 2 weeks. So I said, well, now's the time. Let's start. And so I sat down, and I couldn't type at all, so I hand wrote it.
Oh, you hand wrote it? Okay.
Yep. And it went real well. Like, it just all fell into place very good. And so I got probably 5-6 chapters done because they're short chapters, very biteable chapters. Yeah. And by the time she got back, I said, well, her name's Lisa. I said, well, Lisa, guess what? He was like, what? I said, I'm writing a book. And she said, of course you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we took it from there, and it took me almost to the day a year to write it.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And so she would sit down and be watching TV, and I would sit at the bar and write. And I need that noise, kind of that background noise. Like, total silence doesn't work for me. So just that little bit of noise and stuff. So I'd be writing along, and every once in a while, this is before I'm telling you what the book's about, but every once in a while I would say, so, honey, and she'd be like, yeah. I'd say, if you were staying in a motel down in like a boggy area, what would the name of that motel be? And she'd throw out a name, and 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, okay. Yeah. Every once in a great while, I'd say, try one more time. Okay. And so she's responsible for some different character names. And there's a character in Boston that she came up with the name, and it's perfect, Huh. So, yeah. So.
Well, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Everybody needs collaboration, and that helps. That works very well.
Those little details helped a lot, yeah.
One of the first things I found when I first started looking at the book and reading it, the thing that really I thought was really funny is the first chapter is 1 page long. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
it's
know, I don't
86.
think I've ever seen a book like that.
Yeah, it's
You know.
86 chapters.
Really, yeah.
And that's my style of writing, and I like that style because I think that if you're in bed and you want to read one more chapter, and that chapter is 40 pages long, you're not going to do it.
That's when I fall asleep.
Yeah, you're like, nope,
And the book
I-
hits me in the face, right?
I'm not even going to try. But if they're short, they're very biteable chapters, you keep going, and next thing you know, you might have read like 3, 4 more chapters.
Right.
And then you're looking at the time, and you're like, man, I got to work tomorrow.
That's good thinking.
Yeah, and each chapter is actually kind of like its own little mini adventure, like as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I picked up the book and I saw the title and I glanced through it, I thought at first it was going to be like a Harry Potter, thing. And especially with the name, I thought this guy's going for Harry Potter. But that quickly dissipated.
Yes.
It's nothing like that. It's very, very unique on its own. Why don't we talk about that storyline? That's
Okay.
very unusual.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Whistle has a cloud over his head that was very big. It seems like nothing goes right at first for him.
He
It's nothing like that. It's very, very unique on its own. Why don't we talk about that storyline? That's
Okay.
very unusual.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Whistle has a cloud over his head that was very big. It seems like nothing goes right at first.